Ladies and gents, thank you very much for holding out with us for that short commercial break. So we have the second matchup here between Sheikh and ErwTann, the No Deck Duel. Sheikh playing Haud, ErwTann playing Portuguese, and it is going to be on my favorite map, Korea here. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. There we go. Should all be good. Fantastic. We're going to go ahead and click the play button. So, on the right side of the map, we have... Oh, fantastic. Benoit, thank you very much for the follow, dude. Welcome to the firm. Thank you. Come on in. So, we have on the right side of the map here, we have ErwTann playing as the Portuguese in the cyan. And on the left part of the map, we have Hammer Judah, a.k.a. Sheikh here, playing as Haud and Ashone in the pink. So, what are we thinking? What are we thinking age up times? Who's going to get into age 2 first? Come on, let's do it.
Well, Iroquois does have the fast age up, which I think could play a huge role. I am so conflicted, Widgie, on who has the advantage here. I think it's really going to depend on the length of the game. I think if this goes short, I think how to have it easily.
Yeah.
If this goes long and Port is able to build, I think Port will take it. I'm just trying to think compositions. I don't know. I would say Haud maybe has the better colonial army, but Port's army is not too bad either. I mean, they have all of your basics.
It's tricky. I think the problem with Haud is they really rely on the Kanya horsemanshipment in H2. It's quite a really kind of big shipment to have as you get into H2. It enables you to do some early raiding, get a bit of pressure, especially if you want to play for an H2. But you won't have access to that. And the Kanya Horseman is a very expensive unit to make. I believe it's 100. I mean, people are going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to go for it. I think it's 100 food and either 80 or 100 wood.
I think it's 100.
Yeah, it's so it's kind of crazy to try and get that out. So let's see how that goes. And let's have a quick look over at ErwTann here playing as the Portuguese. And yeah, it looks like we can see here that Sheikh's going to try and grab 75 food, which is going to be fantastic. And over here, we have ErwTann here trying to grab 75 wood. Once again, wood treasures are going to be hugely, hugely important because they take the longest to gather, and you don't have access to any kind of wood shipments. So
No. And I think, but at the same time, getting 75 food for Iroquois on top of the fast age up, that just makes the idea of pressuring really hard and really early even more likely.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see what Iroquois is going to do. I'm predicting aggression because I don't think you should let Portuguese gain momentum. But I don't know. I see people pointing out the dock. Does he have a dock down?
Oh yeah, he does. He's gone for the three boat build. This is quite this is one that you don't necessarily need to have access to any kind of deck for. It's quite a well-known opening for Haud. Normally, if you want to play in Age 2, which of course, you know, now with not having access to a deck, you're pretty much going to be playing quite a bit in Age 2. So actually going for the dock is quite a good shout here for Sheikh. And we can see at the moment he's currently around 400 food. And already looks like ErwTann's going to be getting the quicker age up here. He's going to be going in at a very good time of around 3 minutes 10. And he's going to be getting the market down now as well. So hopefully getting hunting dogs, sort out his herding, and then let's see where he goes from there.
I was just going to say, I mean, ErwTann does have some herding to do, but look at Sheikh's base. His herding has been excellent. I mean, so much food right at the base of his town center. Starting to spread out a little bit. Yeah. But with the combination of the water and all of that food economy, and plus with how much Iroquois units rely on food, I don't know. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for that Port player. I want to see the snowball actually start rolling. I hope he doesn't just get killed immediately.
Yeah, and we can see here that Sheikh's actually going for the fast age up. So he's going for the messenger, which is quite a standard kind of age up if you do want to play quite heavy in H2. And it's also going to just enable him to be able to get a travois out, which most likely he's going to be putting down a war hut or whatever the one is called for Haud, because I always forget. They're all slightly different. But you know what I mean. A barracks, a war hut. He's going to be putting that one down. And let's have a look here, actually. Yes, here's the war hut. I am correct. He's going to be putting it out into a very nice forward position here, securing this hunt, which is nice to see. And as I said before, as we said in the first game, is that, you know, it's really crucial to secure map control and resources, because you're going to be going through resources quicker. You haven't got the resource shipments to help you, so your vills are going to be churning through that gold and food a lot quicker.
So yes, securing hunts is really, really important. But what's even more important in this situation is that's not just a hunt randomly out in the middle of the map. I believe that's Port's third hunt. And Ports, just like Brits, go through food at an astonishing rate. And so that's going to get really nasty in 5 or 6 minutes when, you know, Port's eaten through all of those deer. And what do you think of that town center placement right next to the first one?
Yeah, I think he's probably expecting some kind of rush from Haud. I don't know if he hasn't spotted where the war hut is here, but he knows that he's aged up quick. And if you know that you're going to have to play age 2, especially if your Port's early on as well, and you're playing against Haud, you're probably going to be under quite a bit of pressure. And as we can, he definitely start to see now, first group of 5 Tomahawks are going to be coming towards the base, trying to pick off a Vill. So I think putting it there was quite a good spot. It sort of covers around the corner here a little bit. It covers the mine round here. I don't think it's a bad placement. He definitely needs to get the herding in here though. Otherwise, that's going to be a big problem. Yeah,
and he needs to get a barracks down. If Legacy almost called them their old name.
Yeah, the Legacy, the Legacy brain.
if Hauda keeps spamming tomahawks and he keeps making Hussar, that's going to be a pretty lopsided fight. So, but that's the thing is, where do you get the wood to put a barracks down? Normally you're like, oh, well, I'll just send 700 wood and then I'll get, but you have to gather all of it. It's the slowest gathering resource. So that's another one of those decisions that's so much riskier. What military building are you going to start with?
Exactly. And we can see here that, you know, ErwTann trying to do a pretty good job trying to raid there. You know, he was under a bit of pressure from Sheikh with the Haud, with the Tomahawks. And he's just continuing with Hussar here, it seems. And Sheikh is just continuing with boats as well. You know, he's really committed now. 7 fishing boats on there at the moment. And a lot of just classic food wood macro for Haud, which is very standard. We can see here more Hussars coming in, trying to see what they can do. There are a few Vills over here that are a little bit caught out. He is going to lose a Vill, but he is pushing on the other side as well with a few Aena bowmen as well. And it's definitely going to be about multitasking here. Who is going to multitask better? Sheikh doing a good job taking 2 Hussars down.
That's tough. So you get 1 Vill, but you lose 3 Hussar. And again, it's the point we keep stressing. Losing units in this game mode is so much more painful than it would be in normal AoE, because there is no fallback. So I'm still kind of conflicted on who got the better trade there. Obviously, you know, picking off villagers is always good, but not at the expense of half your army at this point. But it looks like he is going to refresh his Hussar force and keep moving. But, you know, Hauda being smart, continuing to make tomahawks, and now he's going to maybe do some counter pressure.
Yeah, he's going to be getting another Vill down as well. Really good. 25 for ErwTann. But look at Sheikh on 31, obviously, with the fishing boats there. And somebody made a really good point about the fishing boats, which is they're kind of unraidable because you don't have an anti-water deck. You don't have a caravel shipment. You don't have anything that you can easily try and deal with them. You have to go ahead and build a dock. You then have to train a caravel, which is obviously going to be a lot of wood, a lot of gold. So going like on the water is actually more viable.
Yeah, and that is really smart. I mean, that's a really good, insightful comment. Losing more Vills for the Iroquois player. Looks like he's starting to get some of his market techs. I really like what Haud is doing here. I like the balance of eco and military. He's not going all military. He's still allowing his eco to grow and keep up with the Port player. I think that's a smart play.
Yeah, and we can see here now 9 Hussars for ErwTann, and he's going to try and push in, but he's going to be met with a few Tomahawks here. He can probably deal with that, and that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to commit, and once again doing some nice micro, moving back the Hussar so he doesn't get killed. Once again doing it again and again. and doing a great job at clearing up. No Hussars lost there, still 9.
Oh, that was amazing.
Fantastic.
Wow. Very, very, very effective units at fighting cavalry. Takes them all out, doesn't lose a single Hussar.
Oh, and this is going to be huge. There's lots of here. Let's have a quick look at ErwTann's view. Is he going to spot the Vils over here? He hasn't, but the Vils, they're going to have to go to the dock. But
to the boats, boys.
Yeah, that's where they're going to have to try and go. Get on the boats.
No, no, it's, oh, man.
Trying to get a siege on there, not going to be effective.
Oh, that was such a good raid. And now is he gonna see that other group on that hunt there?
He hasn't actually seen it. No, yeah, he hasn't seen that one there. That would have been even juicier as well. There's about 5 Vils on that one as well. And we can see here, once again, Shake's going to have to walk back his Tomahawks because he's got the forward war hut. So it's difficult for him. He has got the big button, and I think he used the big button, the scouting party big button earlier, which means that he hasn't got that as like a Minutemen kind of shipment, unfortunately. So Shake's not going to have the defense. We can see, however, what's going on back at base for ErwTann. He's tried to build a barracks in a forwardish position, but he's going to be losing more Vils. And he's popped militiamen.
This is a tough game to track. I mean, both players are basically just ignoring the other one's army, and they're just trying to win through a war of attrition and raiding.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of mental. I kind of challenged this kind of barracks placement here. Kind of an interesting one. I think he was trying to secure the hunts with the barracks, but I don't think it was that needed to be that far out, because he did lose some Vils because of it, which is unfortunate. There are some hunts here that he needs to try and get if he can.
Yeah.
And 31 Vils now for ErwTann, and 33 because of the fishing boats for Shake here. So relatively even on the economy, but Shake's still being behind in score here.
But what we spoke about earlier is coming to pass. You know, it's been 5 or 6 minutes, and Port is now eaten through all of their first 2 hunts, and they are looking for that second hunt. And a lot of villager idle time having to walk this far out, especially with the war huts here to pressure it. So I like what the Port's doing. I like his army composition. I like the raiding. But at the same time, one bad fight, and he's got probably 10, 15 villagers that will be exposed after that. So it's a precarious spot for the Port player, to be sure.
And we can see he's getting, is that Wakou monks? I don't even know what these guys do.
Are you serious?
Yeah, hang on. They're good against, okay, so they're like a skirmisher unit. Yeah, they're good against light ranged and villagers. They're very good against villagers, actually, and heavy infantry as well. I've never actually really seen them in action, being created. So I'm not too sure the reasoning behind the saloon there, because he could just go crossbow, but he's not. He's going for these monks, and they do cost 120 gold apiece. So interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting.
Wow. Those villagers have me like, I'm sweating just looking at all of those villagers on the front with very little protection.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm really surprised by how well the player has kept up with Portugal's economy. I think he's done an excellent job. And maybe this goes to show that Port economy is only really effective when it can get maybe 3 town centers, maybe those fortress age dragoons and organ guns. Maybe we're seeing the limits of Portugal just like we saw the limits of Russia last game.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, very, very similar. I mean, we can see here, sorry, my mistake. The Kanya Horseman is 100 food, 75 wood. Very expensive cavalry unit, so much wood. And we can see here that once again, the macro for Shake is still food and wood. He's got about 16 fishing boats supporting his economy now. And he's really massed up a decent amount of troops. And I think he could definitely take this trade right now. 20 Tomahawks is going to be difficult for this kind of composition with quite a lot of Huss here. But let's see how this one goes. He's continuing. ErwTann's continuing with the Wakou monks here, if that's how you pronounce it. Very interesting to see these guys in action, see how good they are. They've got some decent range, 18 range, 20 damage, and do some decent multipliers to infantry. So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. He's now got Kanya Horseman available to raid. This is going to be really, really good. Let's see if he's successful here. He can see, yes, look, he's got the good old sight from the native TP here. He can see the Vils, and he's going to be coming down right now.
Is he going to go for a pinch? Yeah, I think he's bringing his infantry down. That will be so good.
Yeah, if he pushes this way and then raids whilst his opponent is busy. Yes, see the Kanya going in now. Fantastic. And is he going to push in with his main infantry? More Kanya coming out now as well. Infantry still. Maybe he's just going to wait for the main forces to come forward and then push in. No, he's still keeping them there. Let's have a look at the vision.
And we do have to remember that some of those Hussar, are part of the original raiding group, and a lot of those Hussar did take a lot of HP damage, so they're not going to be able to tank as well as you might think they do just looking at them.
Yeah.
But if I was a betting man, I would definitely say that I favor the Haud army right now, especially since those muskets are just getting picked off.
Yeah, it's looking very good now. There's a lot of Tomahawks here. As I mentioned, the Huss are not going to be able to do a great deal here. And there's a lot of Kanya available now as well. And he's still continuing to get Hyenas in. And 44 villages. He's pop-capped. Oh, he's just got another house down. Fantastic. 47 for ErwTann as well. So very kind of neck and neck with the eco. But remember, because he's on water, he's got so much just free space to just gather food. Whereas ErwTann here starting to run out of deer.
But I mean, look at that. The monks have driven off the Haud army, the holy men.
Yeah.
They're righteously defending the Portuguese base for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they're strong enough to deal with those tomahawks, but at the same time, that water economy that you mentioned is starting to get obscene.
Let's just have a quick pause. We've got a sub, a huge amount of subs coming through from Morlazan. My boy Morlazan gifting various subs there to people. We have Must Exile.
Oh, he gave me one.
Yeah, one to yourself.
Gifted a tier 1 sub to Radovan.
We've got Mr. JB. We've got Vividly Plain and Varink voiceover, which is itself Mr. V.
That's me. Yeah.
So there you go.
Morlazan gifted a tier 1 sub to Viewering.
If anybody is wondering why I'm in basically a black hole, it's because this is my vocal booth, not a well lit streaming area like yourself, Luigi.
Yeah, some people were saying, like, is Mr. V in a cave? I think that was Crispy saying, is he in a cave or something?
Yeah, I got good Wi-Fi here, but the rocks are uncomfortable.
Fantastic, right. Morlazan, thank you very much, man, for the subs, the gifted subs, and make sure to give thanks to Morlazan as well if you've been given a sub. So without further ado, let's continue. So, yeah, we can see there's still that slight score gap between the two, but I favor Shake's kind of composition here and also his prospects later on into the game, especially with the water play. Look at all the Kanya horsemen here. Very, very scary units going to be coming in now. And they've got higher range resist. He needs to switch that up a little bit because the monks are going to do some serious damage to the tomahawks here. And he needs to get the Kanya on the monks if he can. He needs to start peeling them off onto the monks because the monks are just going to do some serious damage.
And even having them there to tank is just so good.
Yeah, and we can see the Kanyas are trying to get on top. They're trying to do what they can. And Shake looking a little bit successful here, starting to really take down some of those monks, which is great. And there's still so many units here for Shake. And it's looking... I don't know, actually. No, the monks seem to be holding their ground.
But look at the reinforcing Kanya coming in, and there's so few muskets left to defend them. I mean, just Tomahawk, NP, like, no problem. They're such a strong unit.
Yeah, running in now. Going to be going melee to melee. We do have another Popper Militiaman, though, so maybe Shake needs to think about maybe pushing back. He doesn't want to go too deep in here. Otherwise, it could be a little bit tricky. But
it's getting risky.
There's more reinforcing troops, and ErwTann has nothing. Look, he's got one person collecting food. He's got 39 idols.
Oh, there's no reinforcements coming. And look at the villagers. They just ran out of that gold mine in the back of the base. I mean, at first I thought it was a little bit dangerous to push in because I assumed that the port player would have reinforcements coming, but he's starved out. This is... Oh, look at the migration.
Yeah, the huge migration, ladies and gents. This is the Western migration right here.
Goodness.
That's
Portuguese manifest destiny.
That's it. I mean, I think he should have gone onto water at some point, to be honest. I mean, especially with ports. I mean, I say especially with ports, but you don't have access to the various cards. But I think that should have been maybe a decision, especially if he spotted the dock. But I don't really know what his plan is now. I think it's pretty much over, to be honest.
They're relocating, Widgie. They're starting a new life in Korea.
That's it.
And hoping that and a mill.
A sad mill.
In a game mode like this, a mill is basically a death sentence because 400 wood all gathered, all have to be spent on a less reliable food resource. And oh my goodness, the villager massacre of 2023.
Is he going to get the outpost up? He did get the outpost, but unfortunately he's going to lose so many vills here that I think this one is definitely over. More infantry coming. Yeah, this is
just brutal.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. I think that if he had access to the food, which he unfortunately ran out of at the worst time, if he did have access to that and he could reinforce, I think he could have held that fight there. I think potentially.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the eco went at the worst time, and we can see here now, ErwTann, so many idols stuck in these outposts, and it's just going to be for Shake to siege down. And there is the GG from ErwTann there. And that means 2-0 to Shake right now.
Wow. Well done.
Are we going to see a clean sweep?
No, I hope not, because I am enjoying myself. This is really showing me that, yes, the meta is very different in this game mode, but at the same time, there are a lot of things that are not different. How do you beat ports in just regular old Age of Empires 3? You starve them out. How do you beat them in the No Deck Duel? You starve them out. So I think the water play by Haud was just brilliant. And the fact that the port player didn't respond, I think that kind of sealed his fate as that water economy started to pay off more and more.
Yeah, we can see here. Let's just have a quick look at the graphs because we didn't last time. Let's have a look at all resources gathered here. So you can see that interestingly, ErwTann was actually on top of eco the entire time. So I think it might have just been a decision around making the monks. They're very coin expensive as well. Very, very, very heavy in coin. I think maybe potentially, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can definitely make crossbow with ports, right? I'm pretty certain you can. Yeah, you can make crossbows. So I don't know, maybe going down the crossbow route might have been a bit cheaper for ErwTann rather than the monks because they were so expensive in gold.
Right.
And we definitely saw that there. Let's just have a quick look at the villager population. So yeah, you can see that once again, you know, very neck and neck here, to be honest. So yeah, the problem with the crossbows, you didn't have any hunts left. Yeah, so I think that's a real big thing. Like, I think water is very important in this matchup because trying to punish water is really difficult, and you're gonna run out of food very quickly. So water is a great option if you have it on a map. I would say definitely do it.
Yeah, and what I'm excited about is we have a couple more water maps in this pool. I think we picked a really nice balance of land and water. You know, maps with big trading post lines, maps without them. So I wouldn't be surprised if the players adapt from this and start focusing on water a little bit more.